Hello, viewers. Welcome. Question 8 of the WASI 2025, the January-February edition, Core Mathematics. The marks obtained in a text by 40 pupils are as follows. So these are the marks obtained. We can try to find the range. Looking through it, 18 will be the smallest, and 84 will be the largest. So we can easily find the range. We have to construct a frequency table using the class interval 10 to 19, 20 to 29. Then use the information to draw a histogram. Use the histogram to find the mode and hence calculate the mean of the distribution. All right. Now, in doing this, we need to be able to have the table comprises of the marks, the tally, the frequency per this, then class boundary because of the histogram, but because of the mean, we need to also find the midpoint and the fx. So let's put all this into a perspective. Remember, we have been given an interval 10 to 19, 20 to 29, meaning 30 to 39 in that order. So if we are going to list that, the marks first, let's have that in terms of interval. We have 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 80 to 89. Remember, we found the largest value to be 84. So this will cover the range we are having there. Then for a tally, we need to count the number of datas or marks that are between 10 and 19. So let's see. This is going to be a challenge, but let's see. If we look through, we are going to have all on this line. We don't have that. 10 to 19, so we have 1. So this is going to be 1. We have that. Then look through again. We can see another 18 here. So in the column for tally, we need to make a stroke of 2 in that portion for the interval. Then the frequency is the counting of the tally. So we need to find another, which will be from 20 to 29 in the column of that. 20 to 29, 20 to 29. We have 1, 2, 3. So that will be 3. So this 3 will take the tally and as well take the frequency. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 3 in there. Next will be 30 to 39. So let's check from 30 to 39. 30 to 39, 1. Okay, so we have 24 here, which is within 20 to 29, so we have to increase that to make it 4. Because of the space, we don't have enough space on the board. That's how come this is posing a challenge. So we are going to start again, 30 to 39. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are having 12 different values. So let's indicate that by tally. Remember, we are looking for 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we indicate the 12 in there. Let's go for 40 to 49. So we have only 2. So 1, 2, indicating 2. Now this is the frequency. So let's go for sigma f. Sigma f meaning adding all the two frequencies together, as in finding the total frequency by adding all of them. Remember, we have been given 40 in the beginning, so we should get 40. So let's say we are picking this is 10, so 15, 16, 20, 30, 38, 40. So that is correct. So it means that our tally and frequency is correct. The next thing to do is to find the midpoint. How do we find midpoint? Midpoint is adding the lower class limit plus the upper class limit. Then we divide by what? 2. Let's check that out. Okay, so remember, midpoint is 10 plus the 19, then divided by 2. That's midpoint. So that will be giving us 14.5. The next one should be 20 plus 29 divided by 2. But before then, let me find one of the class boundaries. The class boundary is to find the difference between the upper class boundary of one class and the lower class boundary of the next one. So 19, 20, the difference is 1. 29, 30, difference is 1. So we find half of that. So half of 1 is going to be half. So 0.5. So we subtract 0.5 from all the lower class limit and add it to all the upper class limit. So if I subtract 0.5 from here, I should be having 9.5. If I add it to this, it should be 19.5. The same thing will happen here. We have 19.5. If we subtract half from this and add it, there you have 29.5. Now, why am I doing this, leaving this one out? I can find what they call class size. If I know what the class size is, I can easily find my midpoint without necessarily adding all these values divided by 2. So we find difference between the 9.5, let's pick the upper side, 19.5 minus 9.5, and that will give you 10. If you find difference between 29.5 and the 19.5, it is also 10. So if the class size is 10, it means we can add 10 to all values to get the same midpoint if we were to add the lower and the upper divided by 2. What I mean is that 14.5 plus 10 will be 24.5, 34.5. You can see that it is a lot easier than saying 20 plus 29 divided by 2, 30 plus 39, 40 plus... It take your time. So if you know the class size, you only add it to the first one you have. Then you can generate all without any stress. So remember here, we are going to subtract. So 29.5, 39.5. Okay, so that's how we generate all of them. Then the next thing to do is to find the fx. The f, which is the frequency, and what? The x. So we multiply together. So 2 times this, 4 times this, in that order. So 2 times this will give us 14. So we have 28. We have 29. Okay, so as we multiply the frequency by each respective x, which is the midpoint, you will generate the fx we have here. Adding all of them together give you the sigma fx, the total of that. Now remember, the first part of the question is to draw the table or to construct the table. The second part is to draw a histogram. The third part is asking for finding the mean. So let's find the mean with this before we move on to that. So if I have B, I, we know mean is equals to the sigma fx over sigma f. What is the sigma fx? That is 1920 divided by the sigma f, which is 40. We can see from here that 0 will cancel 0. 4 will go here. 4. Remember that 32, so we have 48. So the mean of this distribution, or the mean mark for the class text for the 40 students, is going to be 48. Now we are asked to find the mode also, but that will be done using the histogram. I don't have the graph board here, so I'm still going to make use of the plain board by having some demarcations, and let's see how well we can make that diagram. Okay, so for the histogram, this is our improvised board, graph board. We are having the x-axis column for the marks, which is based on the class boundary. These are the class boundary. Then the vertical one is going to represent the frequency. So we are going to draw the bar to connect the class boundaries. So let's see, from 9.5 to 19.5, the frequency is what? 2. So from 9.5 to 19.5, the frequency is going to be what? 2. Remember, if you check from here, the distance from here, all are equal, but from here to here is a little smaller, meaning the scale is not uniform right from the zero axis. So we need to break this part of the graph. So this means that the scale from 0 to 9 is not the same as from 9 to what? 19.5. So we are going to indicate our frequency of 2. So if I put the ruler here, I should mark up to 2, then bring it down to 19.5. We get that also. So we need to get our bar complete. Good. So this bar is representing the class mark, which is moving from a boundary of 9.5 to 19.5. The next class boundary is, you see, 19.5, which is the end here, is not the beginning of the next class boundary. So 19.5 to 29.5 will be 4. Let's see, 19.5, we are moving all the way to 4. Good, so you can see we've gotten another bar from 19.5 to 29.5. The next will be 29.5 to that of 39.5. So let's draw for all of them, then see how it will look like. Alright, so if you watch the class boundaries in connection with their frequencies, your histogram is going to look exactly the same way I've drawn mine. Yours will be a lot better because you might be using the graph sheet or graph paper. So this is what we have. So each of the length of the bars are to the length of the frequencies given in the question. So this bar is 2 because the frequency is 2. This is 4 because the frequency is 4. This is giving us 12 because it is 12, and in that order. The next question is to find the mode from the histogram, meaning using the histogram to determine what the mode is, the mode mark, not necessarily the interval. Now in doing that, you look out for the longest or the tallest bar, and the bar before it and after it, you try to connect the corners together, as in joining the corner of the longest one with the one at the left, then joining the corner to the next at the right. Now the point of intersection of these two lines, you bring it down, with a broken line to determine the value on there. Now remember, you will be using a graph sheet, so your counting will be accurate. I might not get the accurate measurement, but I can tell that from the 29.5 to 39.5, it is 10 interval, and the division where the line is shifted away from the middle. The middle will have been 5 added to this, or 5 taken away from this. So I'm going to take this as 6 interval. If you count it, 6 plus this, that will give us so 34.5. So I'm going to say that my mode is going to be 34.5. That will be the mode. Yours might be closer to this or exactly the same if you are able to draw it exactly the way the information is provided. Again, the concept is clear. Specifically, how to draw the histogram from the table. How to draw the histogram. Make sure the histogram has all the ends joined together. Now, it is not always that we use the class boundary. In some cases, you can also use the midpoint, the class midpoint that we did on the table form. You can also use the midpoint, which is now going to be here, mark here, mark here. So you mark it and draw the bar on it, meaning the midpoint will be carrying the bar. This time around, it will not be at the end of it, just like we are seeing for the class boundaries. All right, I believe the concept of this is clear, or how we solve it. If no, leave a comment in the comment section asking more clarification. Share the video, like, and subscribe.